Hey guys, Knight here. I'm doing another response video to Huap. First off, the terrorists that he mentions do in fact win. Basically, they bull you out of a lane so they get another chance to play the role they demanded, so they win. Before I get into that, you should not encourage that attitude by encouraging people to run away. If anything, you should be punishing that terrorist for what they are doing. That is what people have been asking Riot to do. Right now, you are right. Riot is not doing anything. They are not making a move. But that is just for now. Once enough people get behind it, once they feel it really is an issue, they will actually do something about it. Fact is, they will have to. That is actually how the world works, by the way. The real world. Government and politics, that's how that is run. Once you grow up some, you will find that out. Like once you become an adult, you will actually realize this. A lot of kids don't realize this, just you're a kid, so you don't know. What I'm saying is you're young and naive, and you have a population, you have a crowd that follows you, and basically you are leading them all off a cliff. You're teaching them wrong, basically. What am I talking about? Let me spell it out for you. You and people like you are why this problem exists in the first place. You are part of why they don't make a move, because you allow terrorists to get away with what they're doing, and that makes Riot feel like it is not needed to step in. As long as you leave the game and show that you are willing to take it in the ass, they won't protect you. You show that you are willing to deal with it yourself, so why should they step in? You need to take a stand, and they will eventually make a move because you're taking a stand. That is what needs to be done, and you're just making it worse by encouraging people to leave and deal with it and just suck it up. You can't do that. You can't do that. So now I wanted to get into some of the things that you actually said in your video, and I'm going to tell you the times and then respond to that, okay? At 2:15, you said that in ranked, leaving doesn't matter unless you're in your promos. Then it's a different thing. How is that different at all? How is it different from when you're in your promos and when you're not? How is leaving different at all? It is exactly the same thing. You take a loss, basically. Sure, the punishment is not as bad for leaving, but you're still taking a hit that you should not be taking, period. That's just what it comes down to. Also, you need to wait some time to queue again. You are spending your life because of some terrorist, which should not come down to. It's still a hit. No matter what you're doing, you're still being punished for it. No matter how you go about it, you're being punished and you should not be being punished, period. Again, the terrorist should be waiting, not someone who has picked priority. Stop being a little bitch about the situation. There is a system and it needs to be followed. That is what civilization is all about. The problem right now is you're a kid and you don't get that. You used to see people taking a stand in America where they would start riots and protests. That isn't so much a thing anymore today because of people like you. Which is why America is slowly going to shit, because the whole generation is filled with people like you. Sorry to say. I'll leave it at that. That's another topic for another day. At 2:27, so you admit that you're allowing them to be terrorists. That makes you a terrorist. How can you just sit there and allow that terrorist to take control of the plane and to wreck into the towers because they had a bad day? What did the 4 passengers do to deserve that? What about the people in the building? You need to take a stand. Prevent that shit. But no, you are a bitch and encouraging people to be a bitch. You are part of the problem. Again, you are the problem. 3:45. You're talking about being mugged. The issue here is that there actually is a punishment for mugging someone. If there was no punishment, it might be different, but there is. Now look at the terrorists, the kids demanding roles. If there was a punishment, do you think they would be doing that? Hell no. Which is why laws exist in the first place. To stop that kind of crap from happening. The best way to stop something from happening is to repress it, not allow it to continue doing what it's doing. Hence why laws and rules and such exist, and why people need to stop being a bitch and bailing out of the game and allowing these terrorists to get away with it. Is that starting to make sense at all? If you can't see that and you don't understand that, you're too dumb to be leading people, and you shouldn't be making videos like this, because all you're doing is making society suck in the long run. So don't. Just stop. Go learn or something, you know what I mean? Like, learn first. Learn before you speak, because you're just making it worse for everybody. At 5 minutes, if they can only do one thing, they deserve to lose, because they need to learn to do many things and not just one. That is a fact. Once you hit diamond, sure, optimizing for a certain style, but at a lower elo, the demand and requirements are not high. So be well-rounded, because you should be able to be good enough to do anything if you want to climb. By not, all you are doing is promoting weakness, which you seem to be made of at this point. Real fast, with all of that said, I feel you are not taking into account the difference between bronze and challenger. Don't just assume that everyone is at a place where the demand for skill is diamond. Sometimes all you need to do is be able to stay alive, such as in bronze. Just help people, that's it. That's all you need to do. At some point you're going to need to step up, but worry about that later. Another issue with your statement is, what if they demand a role and they suck? It is no better than if you took your role that you wanted, because they would end up taking your role and feeding, basically. So at least if you took your role, you'd still be able to carry despite them feeding and such, right? So you're wrong. Endgame, terrorists should not get their way, ever. You are wrong. Period. Terrorists should not win. Terrorists. 540. You continue on the topic of being good at more than one thing. Actually, being well versed is a good idea because it can reveal an interest that you deny. Such as, you might be a very good support and not realize it because you want to act like your hero and you think you will look a lot better as a carry in mid than support. You think you look bad as a support despite the fact that most LCS games are actually won by the support because you are a dumbass and only want to play one thing and don't see the whole picture. That's your problem. So play all of the roles. The truth is, you are being ignorant to the fact that if you try everything and get good at everything, you will eventually realize that every role actually matters. Your world will actually grow and you will realize that it is a lot bigger than just your street. You will realize that it's more important than just mid or AD or top or jungle or support. It's everybody. So be well versed. At 618, in high elo, those players who have one-trick ponies are actually just bad. Good players can do anything. Again, you ignore the difference in elo. Even some of the top players don't deserve to be at the top anymore. It just shows how bad the rest of the world is. Also, it shows that fame does in fact carry you with morale. I could explain that later, but I'm not going to do that right now. The fact is, you can learn a lot of the roles, and you should. Mastering, on the other hand, is a different story. But again, it comes down to your elo. You don't need to master something to climb, and having lots of rolls down only helps you climb in the long run, so you are wrong about that. Not having them down will just slow you down. You'll start turning into a terrorist. So start to learn them all. Master as you go. As you climb, the demand's going to be a lot more high, but lower elo, not so much. Learn them all while you have the chance, you know what I mean? Once you start getting to the point where air supply thins out, you'll need to lighten your load. But most people won't ever get that far, so fuck, you know what I mean? Truth be told, I can do all of the roles very well. I prefer an assassin jungle, but I can do anything to a minimum, and that is all you need to do. You can literally get to gold by just last hitting and letting the enemy feed. Overall, your whole message is wrong. You're just encouraging bad people to exist, and you're encouraging good people to be pussies and let those bad people take over. That's all bad. Funny guy, cool guy, whatever. I don't mean to fucking offend you or whatever, but you're just fucking wrong here, and you're promoting wrong, and you're making people suck. So stop it, okay? That's it. That's all I'm trying to do right now. Thank you for encouraging me to make another video, and that'll do it. Peace.